New details tonight about a suspect accused of dating violence against at least 3 women, plus plans to pour more money into fighting domestic violence in San Antonio. Eyewitness News reporter Erica Zucco is here with the latest. Erica.
Aaron, newly released affidavits reveal what police say 27-year-old Kenneth Carl Salazar did to women he dated, including stalking, blackmail, rape, and assault. Police arrested Salazar last night for one attack, and during their investigation, they learned about more victims. In one case, police say Salazar met a 26-year-old woman on an app. Documents say he threatened to release intimate photos of her and later raped her. Police say Salazar stalked another woman, threatened to release intimate texts, and sent lewd messages to her parents. Officers tell us Salazar assaulted at least one other woman he had a relationship with. They're asking any other potential victims to come forward. And this is not an isolated case. Bexar County has one of the highest rates of domestic violence in the nation. This year, the city of San Antonio is proposing an extra $1 million go toward changing that.
Mary Lou Rodriguez, a 26-year-old mother of 3, and Doreen McDonald, a beloved mom and business owner. Officers believe both died at the hands of their husbands, but Family Violence Prevention Services CEO Marta Pelaez says there are many more stories we don't hear about.
Daily census has gone up from 68 some years ago to 196. Today we have 192 people at the shelter alone. So agency-wide, we have our hands full.
The City of San Antonio's new 2020 budget proposal adds $1 million toward preventing domestic violence. It includes $80,000 for school curriculum, $250,000 to train parents on preventing family violence, and $500,000 for community organizations that fill in the gaps. Pelaez says she'd like to eventually see even more, but it's a step in the right direction, and she hopes it goes toward research-proven methods.
I suggest that education programs are implemented in all of the San Antonio schools. We need to make sure that children of all ages are educated in relating respectfully to one another, if we do not pass the domestic violence onto the next generation.
Tomorrow, the city, county, state lawmakers and law enforcement will come together to announce a new collaborative plan to attack the issue from other angles as well. Aaron.
Erica Zucco on the story. Thank you.